Travis Wingoodsall. Do you know when Armageddon is upon us? Are you going to wait for Armageddon to be upon us before you start to believe that Armageddon is upon us? Have you ever been involved with a hurricane or a fire or other natural disaster and knew by the weather girls in advance that it was coming and waited until it came before you tried to flee or to get to the store to get supplies to wait it out? Why man hesitates has multiple reasons. I would hope that the number one majority reason is because of poverty, that they just can't afford stuff, and so until they are sure that death is upon their door, that's when they'll go deep in debt to get supplies. Because otherwise, knowing in advance of danger and doing nothing to prepare is, there's no other word for it, stupid. And yet throughout my lifetime watching the news of hurricanes, storms that come, being warned in advance of the danger that's coming, without fail, the news always covers those who finally act when the storm hits. And they show the grocery stores that are emptied. People do not get supplies. What if I told you that the leaders of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints were supposed to care for their flock? I would hope Mormons say, well, yeah, obviously. And so, since we're all about Latter-day Saints, they would protect Mormons in the latter days, that they wouldn't be so evil as to send out members around the world on missions when Armageddon is near. Do you even know that Armageddon is supposed to be the massive violence leading up to mankind's extermination, with a massive destruction all over the world? Do you know about Heber C. Kimball, attest, that when this time is near, the missionaries will be called home? That for a living prophet of Jesus to neglect his sheep, to keep them around the world to be slaughtered, is what the scriptures condemn? So obviously, President Dallin Harris Oaks would never do such a thing, right? And so, as a result of the 55 new missions and the record-breaking number of missionaries in the coming days, weeks, that somehow will surpass the 30,000 that went missing from last year, This all means that Armageddon is nowhere near. That everything that Trump is doing, everything certain nations in the world are doing, nah, not Armageddon. It's nowhere near. We still have plenty of time. Right? That's what it means. Members of the church, seeing that the missionary work is flourishing, being sent around the world still, that there's no need for alarm, Jesus ain't coming anytime soon. Right? This is what it means, right? This is what you know as a Mormon, right? So there is no Jesus, there is no Adam-on-Dioman priesthood meeting, no suddenly coming to his temple. We've got more than enough time. So there's no need to rush at the last minute to prepare for Armageddon. Right? So obviously, I'm different. Salt Lake Tribune the other day, Stanford sent me the link, covering the drought in Utah. And they declared that the Green River is drying up again. We just barely hit summertime. We already know we're going to have record drought, record heat, record fires, as Utah is already burning up in flames. But the Green River drying up. Now, where is that in scriptures? Nowhere. But I recognize that. This is why. But not because of this, because I didn't find out about this until November 2024. Right, Oaks? President Dallin Harris Oaks at a missionary meeting of mission presidents in Las Vegas, Nevada, Saturday, March 14th, 2020. I know the background story of all this. I know what I was doing right before this. I know what I was doing right before, or right after. Quote, "This is not the end of the world, but merely a test, a trial run for the second coming." Missionaries were sent home briefly. Sister Jessica had to come home from Australia, then got retransferred to Montana. She's the one responsible for making sure that her mission president's letter to stake presidents and parents got posted online. She is a hero, a heroine. Step aside, Black Widow. We have Sister Jessica, who's gone missing longer than Oaks goes missing. Oaks is now up to a week going missing. Spiritual method math, and now he's missing again. Do you understand what this means, Mormons? I know you know about this. Whether or not you remember, that's another issue. Lots of people saw this. Tens of thousands, if not hundreds. YouTube has shut me down after becoming popular on the latter day video I did in July 2017. The events of 2020. Does anybody know your Exodus story? The events of the Exodus? Does anybody know about section 103, verses 15 through 18? Are you able to do pattern matches? Apparently not. I have made the mistake of thinking Mormons have a level of intelligence. And I keep making that mistake. I keep hoping that Mormons are smart. Came to Utah thinking I was way behind on knowledge about Mormonism and all things scripture. Which is why I was so dedicated to study and research in Mormonism. It's because I thought I was behind. People weren't telling me anything. They weren't giving me the answers. They all said that when I become an adult or when I go to the temple, then I'll know. So I thought I was way behind. Everybody knew stuff that I was not being allowed to know. And so I did my research, I did my study as best I could without the internet. Came to Utah thinking I was way behind. Utahns had access to the living prophets to come and give them special instructions that the rest of the world did not receive. BYU talks, special stake conferences, tabernacle talks, above and beyond conference, where I was forced to drive 50 days before we can get to our stake center. Well, that was fun. They froze my whole system rather than just the camera. Why would members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, the one and only true living church upon the face of the whole earth, cyber terrorize other people and commit crimes to hurt them, murder them, shut them up? Please answer the question, Mormons. If you're good and righteous, why do you violate the laws of the land? Why do you try to hurt and destroy other people's lives? Please answer the question. You never will you? You just keep doing it. So if 2020 was a test run, and it's a pattern match, doesn't that mean that the actual event of Armageddon would be very soon? Because if you're saying, well, it's just a test run, shouldn't have the prophets notified members of the church that it's just a test run? Why was this a secret to mission presidents who are going to be gone for 3 years of their life, away from the church? And the events of 2020 ended up being an exact pattern match with the Exodus story. And the Exodus story is in similitude of section 103, verses 15 through 18. What are the signs of the latter days, of Armageddon, of Jesus? There are 4 events. Adam-on-Diamond, the priesthood meeting, where Lucifer hands over the keys of government to Jesus. Well, that's strange. I thought the president was the president, and that we have 3 branches of government. So the United States of America is going to hand over the government of the United States of America to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints? And the United States of America is run by Lucifer? Because as Mormons, we believe that Lucifer does not get a body of flesh and bones as tangible as man's. That he has to possess people. And so, yes, somehow he's going to possess every member of our government. All of Congress. Even the Mormons. Senator Lee is going to be possessed by Lucifer to hand over the government to Jesus, who is a body of flesh and bones as tangible as man's. Does Senator Lee know about this? He does now, Travis. Yeah, that's a wild one. Good thing after I posted about it in 2021, the church canceled it, deleted it from all of their systems. It's no longer a part of it now. So that Mormon on YouTube, who's dedicated his whole channel to the Adam-on-Diamond priesthood meeting, he didn't get the message. Oops. Sorry, dude. And then suddenly to his temple, then over to Jerusalem to nuke Islam, or is it Christians? Because the whole world is supposed to be against the Jews for some reason. What did they do other than get chased around Europe for 2,000 years? After the destruction of their temple by Rome, being scattered, utterly destroyed. The Jews have never done anything wrong. They were a peaceful people on the Mount of Salem. You probably don't know Hebrew to know that Salem is peace. Pre-1500 BCE. In 1450, when Pharaoh David Moses III went to battle the Hittites in the Valley of Armageddon, dividing the mountain with a flank maneuver. In the midst of the battle, went to the mount, putting his foot on the Mount of Salem. And thereafter they then built the temple and the palace for when all the kings of Salem would be anointed and coronated as King of Kings, Lord of Lords, the great high priest over Salem. Solomon. Solemn, peace, and is a suffix determinative for king. It's a title, not a name. See any pattern recognitions? No? Yeah, after September 6th, the church didn't want you to learn things. Causes apostasy. Intelligence is the enemy of God. So, in the Wikipedia page on Second Coming and Mormonism, according to LDS teachings, the restored gospel, underlined to click on, will be taught in all parts of the world prior to the second coming. The members of the church believe, do you? Because Wikipedia is telling you you believe it, that the scriptures prophesy, and then cease to prophesy after that. All prophecies, visions, revelations ceased with the death of the apostles. There'd be no more of them. Right? Because prophecy is prediction of the future, not a literal history. Right? Did you know that it's the first presidency's official statement that the living prophets of Jesus will never prophesy? You didn't know that? Didn't they tell you? They deny the mantle title of translator. I keep telling you right before, during, and after every single conference, and you're new, right? After all my years, after all my videos, YouTube finally showed you this one, and you were lucky to get in before my quota ran out for the hour, before the total number I'm allowed for a video. And again, I remind you of my #1 video since July 2017. Yeah, they do quotas for creators now. Sick and wrong, YouTube. This is censorship. This is denying freedom of speech. I am horrified nobody is suing YouTube for this issue. Instead, people are suing for causing harm to children. It's the same harm they cause to adults who view or who create video content. YouTube needs a purging and a revising to conform and comply to the United States Constitution. Stop using the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints for Strength of Youth pamphlet guidelines, community guidelines. I see a pattern match. So, the restored gospel will be taught in all parts of the world prior to the second coming. Yeah. Okay. Mission accomplished. So 2020 was a test run, and the restored gospel will be taught all over the world. So when's the second coming? Because Oaks has now got 55 new missions, with at least 200 per mission, as is the protocol, I'm assuming still. Per mission. Maybe less. I don't know. And so it's no time soon then, huh? The prophecy has happened. And it's supposed to be, prior to the second coming of Jesus. So what's going on? Oaks is not talking about in the coming days anymore, like Nelson did repeatedly, until his final conference talk. We don't know the day and the hour. But you said in the coming day, in the coming days, in the coming day, in the coming days, in the coming day, in the coming days. I saw a pattern match with President Trump. The second coming of Trump with the second coming of Jesus. I saw an exact same pattern match. Wounded in the White House of his friends, put his foot in the promised land, in the midst of the war, peace. So what's going on? Where's Jesus? Jesus is a government leader. He has authority and keys over government. What's going on? What are we being left out in knowledge for? The members of the church believe that the scriptures prophesy that there will be wars. That happens all the time in world history. Rumors of wars, yeah, all throughout human history. Earthquakes, all throughout the history of the earth, with or without humans. Hurricanes, with or without humans. Other man-made and natural disasters prior to the second coming. Okay, so when is it? Mission accomplished. When is it? No man knows the day or the hour, huh? All the signs have happened, but no Jesus? When is it? It's kind of vital that when you're given a prophecy, you give a calendar date and clock time. Because eventually, after so many years, decades, centuries, millennia, people give up because it didn't happen. And to keep telling people that, oh, you need to fear and tremble, second coming is nigh. It's been coming nigh for 200 years now in America. Latter-day Saints, 200 years. I remember doing the video. President Nelson to change the name of the church to the Millennial Saints. Those were the good old days before I got censored. At least then I would get some thousands of views. Even though that was censored. But it was conference time. People were searching for the titles, not being zombies watching what YouTube tells them to watch. And thus, only when my video is recommended, and thus the quota system. Because I see it. I post a video and boom! 4 to 5 views instantly. And then boom! Shut off. And I have to wait until an hour until I'm allowed a few more views. I see the censorship by YouTube. If they recommended my video and let people choose what to click on, I'd be getting lots of views. It doesn't mean that people agree with me, obviously. But when people are given the choice, they will click. I will be viewed. But they were given the choice, and they chose to click on mine rather than somebody else's. And maybe the cell phone makes it even more complicated, so that when you get onto YouTube, all you have is one recommendation. That's all you can see on the tiny little screen. YouTube is now trying to blow up the figure size on my computer screen, so that I only have one video recommended. Just stupid. And it doesn't matter if I minimize the screen, it still will only show 3 per row that they've lowered it to just the other week. I remember years ago when they lowered it to 4. It used to be 5 per row. I got lots of options to choose from then. I didn't have to scroll down for a millennia to find something I want to watch. And that's why they do this. Less recommendations, more scrolling. Thus the addiction problem that people wrongly call it. Exactly. See, with the dating thing, only one. Then you have to swipe left or right. Which, just for a picture that could be a fake, or one from her childhood when she was young and hot. No thank you, I'm out. If they can't tell me the truth from the beginning, I'm out. And don't even get me started on the dating problems. Everybody tries to pretend they're somebody they're not, hoping that that's going to impress the other person to want to continue to date them and marry them and find out who they really are after the marriage when it's too late to flee. No thank you. I want somebody who loves me for who I am and is not wanting to change me, who will recognize that I am changing because of being with her. And she likewise would be changing with me, and I would notice that. And when weeks and months go by and she's still not changing naturally, she's still resisting communication, I'm out. with certain things I've learned over time the hard way. And the second coming is one of them. Stay on target. Exactly. Church wasn't giving us the answers. I went and found out. On my mission, New York, New York. Had plenty of opportunity to go through my whole Bible with my purple highlighter for all latter days. There are quite a lot of them in the Old Testament. That surprised me. Above and beyond Isaiah. But the church didn't teach me. I found out for myself. Purpose. The LDS Church teaches that God loves all people. Which God? It's the Mormon God, obviously. So then you have to say, okay, well, who is the Mormon God? Okay, so he's Heavenly Father, but he's not Christian Trinity. He's pagan. Half human, half supernatural. Violating the laws of physics, despite having a body of flesh and bone as tangible as man's. Pagan. You know, Zeus, Jupiter. Turned literal history by Roman Emperor Constantine in the first creed of Christianity. Okay, so Mormons are pagan. That's why they have temples. That's why there's a mission in Greece now. Athens, specifically, where the Parthenon is now completed, and now we have a new mission in Athens, Greece. Sure, it's just a coincidence. Hey, we're pagan just like you guys. Hey, we're Islam just like you guys. Hey, we're Christian just like you guys. Can you make up your mind which religion you are? How about telling people the truth that you're unique? That you're not like Christians, you're not like Islam, you're not like the pagans. Then people will go, oh, okay, so you are different than my Christian church, and therefore that's the reason why I should join your church and not stay Christian? Because we're the same? Intelligence is the enemy of God. Both those who are present on the earth as well as those who have been on earth previously. So he loves Lucifer. Right, Oaks? And then gone for a month. LDS theology states that all people will be resurrected because of Christ, of the atonement of Christ. Mormons, did you know that the Garden of Gethsemane atonement is no longer a part of the theology of Mormonism? The doctrine, the restored gospel, no longer includes the atonement in the Garden of Gethsemane. Oaks canceled it. Because you're not watching my channel regularly, right? This is your first video and you're still listening. It's just tomb atonement, just like Christians. And so Nelson made the symbol of the tomb Jesus. Trademark and copyrighted. No Christian can use it. Only the church is Christian. No other church. We're just like you. However, in order to gain exaltation, there are certain temple covenant paths which must be performed while on earth. What? We don't get to repent after we're dead? Be able to get married to that perfect guy when we're dead? We have to do it on earth. But guys suck. They never change to our will. They always have these weird things they do and are around us. They always, we don't understand them. Don't even get me started. Scorpion. Yeah. I knew it from the beginning. He wasn't checking out the kid. He was checking out the honey bunny mommy. Everybody knows. And finally, as we're nearing the end of season 1, the sexual tension begins. And the confusion that comes with not wanting to confess. So yeah, the other couple finally held hands. Psychology really did damage to Americans. Nobody is locking them up except here in Utah, where they're finally getting locked up. I was concerned yesterday in the news with that health center. That's code word for psychology. So I had to check out, what is it? Is it medical or is it psychological? And it's medical at the point of the mountain. Sorry, Donnie, I guess your little project doesn't get built. Everybody hates you. But yeah, I was deeply concerned. I'm going, this better not be a psychological asylum camp. Because there's some stuff in the news. If you understand why I'm going, wow, the Green River is going to dry up again, you would understand why. But no man knows the day or the hour, Travis. Yeah, everything's happening. It could happen anytime. Anytime. We'll never know until it happens. So there's nothing to prepare for? Because Oaks makes it very clear, if you were prepared, you passed the test. But they didn't tell us. That was just for mission presidents. Brand new. They kept it a secret from us. It could happen anytime. Everything's been fulfilled. So Mormons don't know to prepare. living prophets of Jesus are keeping secrets from you. Mormons are making stuff up on YouTube about, oh, is it near? Oh, Sister Freeman made a talk where it could be interpreted as the Adam-on-Diamond priesthood meeting. Faith promotion. Everybody now has to have a disclaimer at the beginning. I do not represent the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints or any of its doctrines, principles, teachings, or trademark copyrighted icons. So every member is not a missionary anymore? You need to shut the hell up because you don't represent the church. The church will sue you now, Easton, for being a faithful member. You don't represent the church. The church will decide who to bless the lives of. And in what manner they're to be blessed. You sure you're wanting to be Mormon, huh? Alright, whatever. This is the hinge pointing Oaks told you about 2018. In case you forgot that talk. So, yeah, they're just all leading up to, it's just a doctrinal opportunity for Mormons to put on here. And so, yeah, this is a teaching opportunity that they took on to make this site. Beliefs, feelings have been added. It will not change their religion, beliefs, or feelings unless they themselves decide to accept the work done for them. Our spirits have feelings, do they? That's a change. Oh my God. So, timing. Ooh, finally a calendar date and clock time. According to the Doctrine and Covenants, which is considered scriptural canon, 1N, in the LDS Church, the Son of Man. Well, what about Jesus? Who's the Son of Man guy? I know from the Egyptian documents about David Moses III. It's in his name. And I've been showing you the pretty pictures. Now reigneth in the heavens, and will reign till he descends on the earth, which time is nigh at hand. Yeah, that's obvious, because everything's been fulfilled, and there's nothing more to be fulfilled. When is he coming? He delayeth his coming. Doctrine and Covenants, section 45. And in that day shall be heard wars and rumors of wars, and the whole earth shall be in commotion, and men's hearts shall fail them, and they shall say that Christ delayeth his coming until the end of the earth. Hilarious. When's he coming? Is he going to come when we're destroyed? Oaks is making us believe it ain't anytime soon. Nelson made us believe it's soon. In the coming day means less than a week. In the coming days means less than a month. He never showed. Nelson had to come out in his final conference and say, no man knows the day or the hour. After teasing us the whole time. Where is he? Because November 2024, I found Oakes's leak. We had a pattern match with the second coming of Trump. When's Jesus coming? Trump came back for a second coming. Where's Jesus? Everything's fulfilled. Where's Jesus? And now Oaks is saying, nah, we're resuming. We're going to only do fake announcements for temples, but the missionary work is picked back up again, lowering the age of girls to 18. Sister gets to go to a foreign country, brother has to go stateside. And to a place that has severe weather conditions every single year. Yep. Okay, you sheep, you get to go into the wolves' den. That's your mission. You sheep get to jump off a cliff. Is the church supposed to protect its members or burn them to death? Which is it? Should we look up scriptures to try to figure out what the leaders of the church are supposed to do with the membership? Which time is nigh at hand, but the hour and the day no man knoweth, neither the angels in heaven, nor shall they know until he comes. Really? So when's he coming? No man knows. Right, Revelation chapter 12. Chapter 19. The whole book of Matthew. The LDS Church teaches that no person will be given the knowledge of when the second coming is to occur. There are no current official teachings speculating about an exact time or date, which such speculations were not unusual among high-ranking LDS leadership in the early church. Really? They have been discouraged since the early 1900s. Really? So who is this? Divinity, U of Chicago, education, sightings, articles, day bells, and Latter-day Saint apocalypticism? Because Chad Daybell is not early 1900s. Yes, we need to open this. We're checking this reference. Because clearly after freezing my camera, they thought they got me. But, you know, maybe this will trigger another freezing. Gotta have elevator music. This is gonna take forever, Google. Dear God, it does not have to be this way. They do it on purpose, to sabotage people, to force people to pay more money. This is a basic utility. It needs to be treated as such. Divinity school. Whoa. February 27th, 2020, Christopher James Blythe. Latter-day Saint prophecy has appeared in several news cycles over the past decade. The most persistent question has been whether Latter-day Saints have, or sometimes whether they should, see Mitt Romney as the fulfillment of early LDS prophecy. Because that was another video I was going to talk about with you guys. Yeah. Right here. The bottom. In 2015, news items reported on a surge of prepper activities among Latter-day Saints who believed the second coming was near. Because the living prophets of Jesus isn't telling us. So people go their own way. Most recently, there has been attention on two Latter-day Saint prophecy enthusiasts who have become associated with child disappearances and suspicious deaths. So Chad and Lori. But I'm not... See, it's early Latter-day Saint prophecy, so it's not this link, you dumbass. Continue. It's the Los Angeles Times. Will Mitt Romney fulfill a Mormon prophecy and save the Constitution? Okay, now we know. Interesting. Now the question is, will you allow me it looks like you will. Cool. What is interesting is that nobody knows the exact quote but me, because I'm the only one who covers it in video content. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. And let's get this one. So that's old school teachings, apparently. We're getting it all. Looks like it. So you all believe the white horse prophecy, which is that one coming up, from which apparently that also talks about the Constitution will hang by a thread. But the Mormon who made that one all up got it from Brigham Young through Hebrews E. Kimball, because they didn't want to acknowledge the existence of the 19 July 1840 original. Do your research. Go back to the beginning. I have scripturized it, put it on my academia page. So when you see the first draft of the complete works of Joseph Smith, this is how I'm hoping to eventually turn it into. The picture that I made is slightly different. So yes, it's comments on verse 51 in his parable prophecy, Doctrine and Covenants, section 101, verse 43. Apparently, Royal Skousen or the other rough stone rolling guy didn't know the source in scriptures from where it came from. They just say, blank. Come on, guys. You don't know your scriptures to know that's where it's coming from. Pattern matches, guys. So, the reason why Brigham Young wanted nothing to do with it is because he's exposed in verse 7. Joseph Smith prophesies that Brigham Young is the great and abominable church of the devil. And Oakes is now coming out in the full view of everybody without actually saying it. He's coming out of the closet. These things take time. He's timid. Will people like me? Will people love me? That's why he came out and ordered you to love him before he comes out in full view. You gotta love me. Surprise, I'm Lucifer. It's a boy. Oops, that reveal nuked the world. Oops. And when the Constitution is upon the brink of ruin, that's the original quote. And that's the only one There is no more, apparently. So we gotta go all the way back up to timing. There's far more than that regarding Mitt Romney. Thus the other videos. I don't know if I'm gonna get to them. We're already over an hour with the 2 video clips. Bastards. They have been discouraged since the early 1900s. Although the exact time and date is not known. Are you sure about that? How do we get our calendars and clocks? How do we? Because I'm seeing in Revelation chapter 12 and 19, the sun, the moon, stars, and constellations. Isn't that how we got our calendar dates and clock times? Shouldn't that be a calendar date and clock time then? The Book of Mormon says it is. That apostle of the Lamb named John, to refer to it. Although the exact time and date is not known, Latter-day Saints believe that the specific events must take place. And they have. We're waiting. Where's Jesus? As signs before the second coming can occur. Where's Jesus? Nobody's given me the answer yet. Oaks. Trump is an exact pattern match. Sort of. For one kind of Christianity interpretation, I guess. But that would be a self-fulfilling prophecy. Events. Okay, well, there's going to be signs. I don't see Revelation chapter 12 or 19 here. Who did this, Mormons? Why is my answer not in here? Why is my question not answered? There will appear a great sign in heaven, and all people shall see it. And there are Mormons who say the sign is him. He is the sign. The sign is never the thing. You ever read Joseph Smith translation, Revelation chapter 12, verse 1? The sign is in the likeness, similitude of the thing. The thing is in verse 7 added. Vision is not the prophecy. The prophecy is not the vision, but the vision is in similitude of the prophecy. Intelligence is the enemy of God. The righteous that are upon the earth will be caught up to meet him. You mean the rapture of Christians? We're Christian then. So the Left Behind series who leave behind Mormons because they're not believers in Trinity. Angels will announce his return. Oh, that hasn't happened. which all the inhabitants of the earth will hear. And every knee shall bow. Really? Because section 76, those who are celestial will not be bowing the knee. Kind of helps if you guys knew your scriptures. So, the actions of Christ. Christ will complete the first resurrection, because Nelson exposed that we don't have the keys of creation or revelation. Oaks, hey, I got them. So, transfer. I've got them. I know I'm a translator too, and you tried to murder me. Erase me from history so that nobody would know I exist. Right here, I got them. I don't know why you didn't have them. Yes, I did. This event involves Jesus resurrecting some of mankind. Oh my God, that got changed. The resurrection is for everybody. But yeah, the first resurrection. The church believes that the spirit world is a place where the souls of the dead are being held hostage by Jesus, and that Mormons must pay tithing as the ransom to release them from their bondage. But it's a perpetual tithing for the rest of their lives and every generation thereafter. They're taking the opportunity to explain the whole gospel rather than just give us the answer. They're using Wikipedia as a missionary tool. It will judge the nations. The wicked will be removed from the earth. All things that are corrupt will be burned. Yeah, that sounds like a serial killer Jesus to me. To Jesus. Earth will be cleansed with fire. And so, despite the whole world burning, the righteous will endure the burning like Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego, who are the three Nephites. Pattern match? The Jewish people who are living at the time will be able to see, touch, and feel the nail marks in his hands and feet, and will mourn because they, as a people, had murdered Jesus. There are levels of racist bigotry. The most extreme does not come from Christians, even though they caused it. It's the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. The Jewish Christ is not the Christian Christ. Or as the thumbnail, or the picture that I made the other day, I think it was yesterday, the Christian Christ is not the Jewish Christ. There's a Jewish Christ? They have a Christ? I thought they were godless heathens. Oh my hell. Do you even know the difference? No. Church won't teach you. And when you understand the difference, then you understand Oh, that's why Jesus hasn't come yet. He doesn't exist. But the Jewish Christ, yeah, Oakes was terrified when he showed. Yeah, that surprised them. Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints was caught off guard when he came to them and said, "Hey, is there any more Hebrew writings of Joseph Smith that I can translate?" And they freaked out. "Oh no! Burn the witch! Kill him!" Yeah, they were in shock. They've been telling Mormons for 200 years, it's Jesus. Fluffy? Better be a Fluffy. "200 years, no man knows. Jesus. Stay away from the Jews. We're not going to talk about them." Didn't want you to believe that it was possible. Because Korihor makes it very clear. No man can know of a Christ or Redeemer who is to come. It's got to be self-fulfilled. Jesus will directly rule as King of heaven and earth and establish his theocratic government and will usher in the new millennium. And how will he do that with governments on the earth? Oh, right, they're burned. So Jesus just, oh, everybody's dead. Oh no. I don't know my own power. I am like Thanos. How is the scriptwriter going to continue the shows? Oh, there we go. Whew. That was concerning. Thank God for scriptwriters. I was really concerned. We had 5 minutes left in the episode. Are they going to catch the bad guy or not? Oh no. I've noticed that pattern. It's very annoying. Yep. Oh, they caught him finally. Yeah. Oh, sure enough. Show's almost over. The millennium. So, no, that's a different video. Major signs proceeding. Restitution of all things. Oh, did I need to put restitution of polygamy rather than restoration of polygamy? Opposition to the restoration. Oh, you changed the word. Elijah, gathering of Israel, to where you are, scattered around the world. Oh, I see Jews in here. Oh, they quote the 10th article of faith, which says you're going to be gathered from the world to one location in America. We believe in the literal gathering of Israel and the restoration of the 10 tribes. And they cut it off. They stopped it. That Zion, the New Jerusalem, will be built in the Americas. It's not South America. It's not even south of the border. We all know it's the United States of America. Who wrote this? The gathering of Judah. The book of Isaiah states, "And he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel, and gather the dispersed, and Judah. Phonetically the same, I get confused. From the four corners of the earth." The Latter-day LDS Church believe in both a literal gathering and a figurative gathering. Ooh, a figurative gathering. A spiritual method gathering? Oh, I believe I'm gathered. I feel it with every fiber of my cereal. The ensign is believed to be the church, not the magazine, because it's now called the Liahona. The figurative gathering is the gathering of members into the church. Oaks, activate the Strengthening Church Members Committee for this person. Oh, here's the literal gathering. Here's the Jews. The literal gathering of the dispersed of Judah is believed to be the gathering back to the Holy Land. So no literal gathering of Israel, it's figurative. And so it's fulfilled. Orson Hyde, without Joseph's permission, because it was Heber C. Kimball who told him to do it. As they had forged licenses with the wrong name of the church. Yeah, they got him. You know, after he signed the affidavit with Thomas B. Marsh, he came back and went all in with the Danites. He repented. Oh my hell. Proselyting, temple in Jerusalem. Oh my hell. The LDS Church believes that there will be a temple built within Jerusalem. The temple within Jerusalem will be built with one additional distinguishing feature that all other LDS temples, including the one in Jackson County, Missouri, which Joseph Smith says is not in Jackson County, Missouri, but in southern Illinois, do not have. This temple, not the Jerusalem temple in America, will contain a throne, not the one in America, which at times the Savior will personally sit and reign over the house of Israel. Over Judah, if the house of Israel are supposed to be gathered to the New Jerusalem, his throne is in Jerusalem. To judge the house of Israel in America? Yep, everybody with me. Intelligence is the enemy of God. And Orson Pratt The temple will be built at Jerusalem. Who do you think will build it? Jews? You may think that it will be unbelieving Jews who rejected the Savior. I believe that which is contained in the 77th passage of the Book of Mormon, as well as in many other places in that same book, will literally be fulfilled. 77th page of the Book of Mormon. Okay. So, is that 2 Nephi 28? I don't have your version of the Book of Mormon to check. You need to give us a reference, not give us the page number, you dumbass. Aren't you the... No, it was your brother who did the chapter and verses. So this was most likely before your brother did the chapter and verses. Recently, Bruce R. McConkie, who knows no better then than he knows now. Despite doing his plagiarism of the Messiah series. It will be built by Jews who have come unto the Mormon Christ, who once again are in the true fold of their ancient shepherd, Jesus. Yep, not even Christians were this evil. Because they know that Elijah did come, not to sit in a vacant chair at some Jewish feast of the Passover. Oh my bleeping, bleeping hell. You said that? Dear God. But to the Kirtland Temple on the April 3rd, 1836. Who is in charge of Passover? Give you a hint, Book of Exodus. Would that help? Remember the patterns? Who else showed to Joseph Smith in that vision? And Bruce R. McConkie says, bleep you, Jews. We turned it literal history. Two witnesses. I think it's Jasmine said that the two witnesses were Nelson and Holland, who were being murdered in Jerusalem. Fire, flames from their mouths. Right, Jasmine? Is it you? Did you do the video? That was before I knew of you. You were brand new at that time. So I didn't know to know you. And the comedy that would ensue from you later on. So yeah, they will have faith and power to cause miracles as seen in the Book of Mormon. Literal history true. Pagan, remember? Physical, yet supernatural. Pagan. Since they are given the rights to prophecy, it is believed that they are prophets. Mormons who wrote this, follow me into the Book of Mormon, 3rd Nephi, chapter 14, because I would take you to Matthew chapter 7, but you might claim that it may not be translated correctly. Verse 15, beware of false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravening wolves. Ye shall know them by their fruits. The fruit is a physical manifestation of the seed, not a spiritual witness feeling. And so, do we liken the word unto a seed? Let me take you to another passage in the Book of Mormon. Because apparently, intelligence is the enemy of God. Now we will compare the word unto a seed. Alma 32, starting in verse 28. The whole point is to produce the fruit of the seed, the physical manifestation of the word. If you got feelings, your knowledge isn't perfect. All you know is that it's working, that the seed is good and growing. Because if it don't grow and Jesus don't show, you're supposed to discard it. It's a bad, corrupt word. Oopsies, Mormons. And so, yeah, nowhere do they talk about Revelation chapter 12, Revelation 19. Nowhere here. It's in the Book of Mormon. They tell you to go to it. Joseph Smith translation moves verse 5 to verse 3, adds verse 7, has it all set up for spirit, prophet, revelator, seer, prophet, revelator, translator, SPRT, spirit, acronym. So, knowing this, knowing that it's the Jewish Christ, knowing that the Jewish Christ is a Mormon, then it's very clear that verses 1 to 3 in the Joseph Smith translation is the Mormon and his coming. 23rd September 2017 to Mormons, because he's a Mormon. The Jewish Christ is not the Christian Christ. Joseph Smith's Christ is not the Christian Christ. He's the Jewish Christ, and he's a Mormon. Joseph Smith had his Kirtland Temple vision because he's Messiah ben Joseph of Jewish Christ tradition, not Christian. 2 Nephi chapter 3. And since this is all brand new to anybody who's still listening, unless you're our regular follower, hey guys. Yeah, I'm deeply concerned we're all gonna die. Seriously, we're all gonna die. Because this is not the test run anymore. This is it. And yet it still keeps being extended out. But I'm given the hope. With the 4 dreams that I had for the final 4. In the coming days. Right? And it's sad. All these mission presidents, all these missionaries going out right at the time of the coming of Armageddon. Lambs to the slaughter. And for Mormon parents to allow this to happen to their kids. Again, intelligence is the enemy of God. As Mormon parents believe that if their child dies on a mission, they go straight to the celestial kingdom. But what the church doesn't want you to know, because intelligence is the enemy of God, is that your child will be single as an angel for the rest of their lives and will never be married, never have their own planet, to bear billions of children for another Earth because they didn't get married on Earth. Remember? The work has to be done on Earth. Well, yeah, but if we do it for them by proxy, then they have to accept it and in the spirit world. When you put all of the church's statements together, you realize the contradictions. And that exposes the church for the mistranslations, misinterpretations, and misdefinitions of words. When you go back to the Jewish origins, oh, well, that's different. No bleeping duh! And so, is this why? No, because everybody wants to watch. Because the church won't tell you. And here I am coming out with, hey, Joseph Smith is true, Book of Mormon is true, isn't this awesome? Here we go. And I get censored. And I get shut up. And they try to murder me. And you witnessed again. 13 minutes in, was it? I am deeply troubled by the coming, if all things are going to remain the same as they are. Book of Mormon warns of utter destruction. Joseph Smith warns of utter destruction. Utah is burning in utter destruction. Drought is going to utterly destroy this place. The Green River is going to be parted again. I have demonstrated my fruit. All Mormons have to do is judge me by my fruit, not their spiritual witness feelings. The prophets are leading you to your deaths. They're causing the fires causing the droughts, causing the destructions, the economic crisis, the violence, to drive you out of Utah because Trump failed. That's their self-fulfilling prophecy. When you include a supernatural element into the premises of your argument, you have to self-fulfill it in order for it to be so true. But if you stick to the correct interpretation, translation, and definitions in your premises, that will lead to the conclusion when you run the test. Oh, 23rd September 2017. Oh, hey, yep, there he is, the Mormon. And I can judge him by his fruits, the scientific method test. He is true. I should have listened to him. Because Joseph Smith warns, if you don't listen to him, bye-bye. And if nobody's listening, bye-bye. All mankind is lost. Now, the few of you who do follow regularly and may still be listening, yeah, it's going to be just us in our little community. And you with your families, and me all alone. Sucks to be me. Because now, a whole new scenario. Because the Book of Mormon has the different scenarios of what could happen based on agency. So first you have Lehi and his family. Nobody listens, they want to murder him. He exoduses. And there is in the promised land at the top of the Red Sea. Intense. So then the next one is with Nephi. And there's actually two of them. First one is the need to obtain the scriptures and women. Good thing Ishmael had the exact amount of women for Nephi or Lehi and his sons. Now, if you understood the tradition that there were arranged marriages, Ishmael was the arranged marriage for Lehi. They had made a deal. Money was exchanged for the covenant and promise to have the girls be with the boys when they got old enough. You didn't know that? You call it literal history and you didn't know that? And so, wow, Zoram was convenient. Because he got the other girl rather than Jacob and Joseph, who were born later. Who did they get, though? Well, the sons of Ishmael and their wives and families. That's who it was supposed to be. If you're going to call it literal history rather than the spirit. But yeah, Exodus, the same pattern as Lehi and his family. So now you've got two families that go. So then enter Nephi, who then takes the family across the ocean to the United States of America. Geography may differ depending on Mormon. And they make it. And so that's similar. But then the next one. Lehi dies. Brother wants to take over. It's his birthright and blessing. Wants to murder Nephi and subject everybody to bondage. Wow, brilliant thinking for a government. That ought to go well. I'm sure you don't need to have an army to guard the people 24/7 to keep them in line, because you can't trust them. And why can't you trust them? Because you took away their agency. Brilliant. So yeah, they flee. And again, but this time Nephi builds Zion. At least the temple anyway. And they build houses and stuff. But nowhere in the Book of Mormon. Mosiah exodusing from the Lamanites to come to Zarahemla. City is all built. No temple though, because they don't even have the right God. They got this great spirit Jesus guy now. Because no scriptures, it's all spiritual witness, feelings. They don't even speak the right language. It's some text language code. And even that they have typing errors. So yeah, nowhere. Oh, nope. Jesus, his supernatural coming to the Americas, which is not a second coming. But it's a pattern for the second coming and the 3 decades before he comes from 1986. They know the day and the hour, boys and girls. They've been lying to you. They self-fulfilled it. But yeah, the Temple of Bountiful is there. The Lord suddenly comes to his temple after 2024. But instead, they ran a test run in 3 Nephi chapter 7 rather than their 200-year-old plot, because I ruined it for them by exposing that I know all about the signs and dates, calendars, and the latter days. Did a whole book on it. Needs to be updated. It was only up to 2017 at that time. And so there's a whole bunch of stuff left over all these years and all these videos that I've done for you that all need to be included in it. I was hoping it'd be a Zion project. I think it's on my academia page also. But like I said, it's incomplete. There's some things that I learned since then that need to be added. No corrections, just adds. Well, that's what I worry about. Because if the church were to stick to the Exodus, the church falls, transfers authority to me. Because those Book of Mormon scenarios, there is no transfer of authority. There's fleeing from the enemy who refuses to give up their authority. Even with Jesus, the transfer of authority is from Jesus to Nephi. Talking about Samuel the Lamanite and his prophecies. Hilarious if you know the bigger picture. Because all three characters are the Mormon. They're Trinity! They're separate but equal. Oh, I believe in hell. So, there you have it. That's what I worry about. Because the design for Zion is going to be built to last for a millennium and more. This won't last that long, assuming no natural disasters or any kind of man-made problems that would destroy this complex. Zion will last long into the future. That is how awesome the design came to me with. And the only way it's going to be able to be built is if the transfer of authority happens. And they don't want to give it up. They don't want to confess. They're being shy about coming out of the closet that we worship Lucifer. Little by little, they're revealing it. Are they going to like us still? But yeah, it's soon, people. And here is Oaks sending out a mass amount of missionaries, as he did it on purpose, as I reported on it when he did it on purpose in the beginning. This is the final countdown. And if you do not catch on, if you refuse to still listen to me, if YouTube still refuses to murder you by denying you access to my content, dear God, it's going to be a massive tragedy. So many lives destroyed and ruined because of Oaks. Because he does not give a damn about any of you.